Tonight on News Channel 9 at 10, missing money.
I couldn't believe anything like that could happen.
Thousands of dollars vanishes from Escalante Park, and now a former parks manager is behind bars, blamed with embezzling it. Also, the settlement decades in the making as two El Pasoans victimized by a Catholic priest finally get some closure in court. Plus,
our temperatures dropped a little bit, but still above average. We're going to launch those temperatures way above normal. I'll talk about the weekend. News Channel 9 at 10 starts right now.
a second county employee is now facing charges connected to embezzlement and forgery at Escalante Park. Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Kagan Harsha. News Channel 9's Janice, you spoke today with a person who says he dealt with the man at the center of this latest investigation for years. She joins us tonight with an update. Janice?
Kagan, Reynaldo Chavez was the former, El Paso County Park Manager, was arrested today. This following an audit that showed no records of years of exchanges between him and the International Softball League. Now, we spoke with one man today who said he has been working with Chavez for the past few years and he never had any reason to suspect him.
Believe anything like that could happen.
Max Weber, Executive Director of the International 50 and Over Baseball Association, says Reynaldo Chavez's arrest for forgery and embezzlement at Escalante Park came as a shock.
They handled my situation very businesslike. I would give them our entry fee twice a year or once a year, depending on how many games we were going to play, and they would give us a contract.
Chavez, the former El Paso County Park Manager, allegedly accepted $23,300 from the International Softball League to rent the field since 2004 and gave them handwritten receipts. He claims he then gave the cash and receipts to the park's accountant clerk. But investigators say the account clerk denied ever receiving cash or receipts from Chavez, and an audit by the county showed no record of the exchanges. This is the second arrest regarding embezzlement at Escalante Park. In a separate case, Myra Navarrete was arrested last month for mismanaging money from the parking booth at the park.
Myra Navarrete was always very courteous. Very businesslike with me.
County Judge Veronica Escobar says now is the time to start making some changes in terms of oversight and transparency.
I would like for us to have a more proactive approach.
She says a hotline already in place by the city will soon be used for the county.
Either citizens or employees can call in anonymously, and the complaints go straight to an auditor who does independent investigations.
Paso Sheriff's Office says they want to speak with anyone who held a special event at Escalante Park and paid in cash and received a handwritten receipt. You can contact them if you qualify. Reporting live from the newsroom, Janice Yu, News Channel 9.
All right, Janice, thank you. Two victims who were sexually molested by an El Paso Catholic priest decades ago finally got some justice today as a settlement was reached in the case. Both were molested by Jesuit Catholic priest Father Alonso Madrid back in the 1950s and 60s when Madrid was assigned to Sacred Heart and St. Ignatius parishes and schools. Both victims were in elementary school at the time. One of the victims was molested for 10 years. Details of the settlement were not revealed. Father Madrid passed away back in 1982. The mother of a 10-day-old baby who died in Las Cruces this week had no drugs in her system and had not been drinking the night before her baby died. That today from sheriff's investigators, contradicting an earlier report which said the mom had been drinking. As we've reported, the baby boy was found dead Monday morning after sleeping in a twin bed with his mom. The infant had tested positive for meth the day of his birth. A preliminary autopsy shows the baby did not suffer any type of trauma before his death. Toxicology reports are pending. Police say a Doña Ana County man attacked two Las Cruces police officers minutes after he beat a 76-year-old El Paso Electric customer who was trying to pay his bill. 51-year-old Paul Williams Jr. is now charged with attempted murder and 2 counts of battery of a peace officer. Investigators say Williams punched and kicked the elderly man in the El Paso Electric's Las Cruces parking lot, then stole $20 from him. Then, when police confronted him, he allegedly struck the 2 officers. Williams was eventually booked into the Doña Ana County Detention Center. The elderly man was knocked out but is expected to be okay, and the officers did not suffer any serious injuries. Well, it hasn't felt like February this week at all, and you're really going to wonder what season it is by this weekend. Chief Meteorologist Chuck DeBroder joins us now Chuck, we're getting eerily close to the 80-degree mark already.
Yeah, you know, towards the weekend, we will actually see temperatures near that 80-degree mark. Right now, 50 degrees. We are cooler than what we were last night at this time. 7 degrees cooler in El Paso, 8 degrees cooler in Las Cruces. Why? We had a weak cold front move through. But guess what? We have upper-level high pressure, drier air mixing in. As it does, temperatures will really launch up. First, a cold night, 33 the low, 72 the high, even warmer for the weekend. Full forecast in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Chuck. After nearly 20 years on the job, El Paso County's tax assessors calling it quits. Victor Flores announced his resignation during this morning's County Commissioners Court meeting, citing health reasons. Flores was first elected back in 1996, and he still has 2 years left on his current term. His last day on the job will be February 27th. For the first time since 1979, El Paso County has a representative on the State Public Education Committee. State Rep Mary Gonzalez has joined the House committee that oversees all matters pertaining to public school system and its financing, including various agencies like the State Board of Education and the Texas Education Agency. She will also remain on the House Committee on Agriculture and Livestock. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals made its first ever visit to El Paso today, hearing oral arguments in 2 criminal cases. It's the highest court of criminal appeals in the state. The court usually sits in Austin, but visits different cities each year, mostly towns with colleges that have major law schools. Today, the court was at UTEP, though, hearing an appeal in a capital murder case where the defendant was sentenced to death, and also in an aggravated robbery case that resulted in a life sentence.
Yeah, like seeing this experience firsthand makes it very exciting. Like now I'm excited and I see the great opportunities that are out there and how I would one day want to be there on both sides.
Faculty and students also had the opportunity for a Q&A session following the hearings to get an even more hands-on learning experience from the judges. The push to revitalize downtown El Paso could soon get a boost thanks to some help from the state. The Texas Historical Commission has awarded the city a $56,000 grant to conduct a historic survey of the downtown area. The city will have to pitch in a similar amount, but once that survey is complete, it could lead to downtown being designated a National Historic District. And that itself could lead to tax credits for renovation projects and for tourism-related activities. We have a few road closures already in place tonight that could already impact your commute tomorrow morning. The following closures all started at 8 this evening, and they're scheduled to end tomorrow morning at 6. All lanes on I-10 East between Copia and Paisano. US 54 eastbound, that's going towards New Mexico, will be closed from the ramp coming from I-10 West to the Trowbridge overpass. And over in the Spaghetti Bowl area, the ramp going from US 54 south to I-10 east will be closed, as well as the ramp from US 54 north to I-10 east. And here's a live look at that area right now. Again, you can still see some traffic moving our direction toward the south and west of El Paso. Northbound, it looks like traffic is shut off there. Those closures set to end at 6 a.m. So if that is the time for your commute, make sure to give yourself a few extra minutes. A convoy of 50 or so farm trucks paraded through Juarez today as farmers made a trek to the city just to fill up with gas. The 300 or so farmers all came from small towns outside of Juarez, the majority from the Via Amuda, about 80 miles to the south. They were in town to make a statement. They say the government is putting them out of business by failing to act on their behalf. Diesel subsidized in Mexico, and while diesel prices have gone up over the past year, the subsidy has remained unchanged. Federal investigators are now looking into what may have caused a deadly plane crash in Lubbock, Texas last night. A small plane crashed into the transmission tower of a television station, KCBD-TV. The plane's pilot was killed when the single-engine aircraft crashed. The tower cut in half and collapsed away from the NBC station below. Now, no one inside was hurt, but the building was evacuated and power cut off to the station and the surrounding area for several hours last night. Some of the borderland's youngest cancer patients will no longer have to travel out of town to get the care they need. Still ahead here on News Channel 9 at 10, we'll tell you about the new surgery option that's available in our area. And we'll introduce you to a group that's helping kids in one part of El Paso improve their academic skills through practice on the soccer field.
Well, check this out. It was 37 for a high in Dallas, 43 in OKC. The entire region will warm up. I'll give you the reasons why and a look at the next week in just a little bit.
You're watching News Channel 9 with Kagan Harsha, weather with Chuck DeRoder, and sports with Fred Albers. And now, Positively El Paso, brought to you by Hyundai of El Paso.
El Paso Children's Hospital and University Medical Center have teamed up to offer a new surgery option for some of our area's youngest cancer patients. 2 doctors, one from each hospital, performed a procedure called radiofrequency ablation on a 16-year-old Christina Lara. It's a minimally invasive surgery, and Christina needed it to get rid of a tumor in her spine. In the past, children who needed the procedure would have to go out of town to get it. Christina tells us she's happy that's no longer the case.
Compared to my other surgery on my lungs, I'm still recovering from that one. But like it feels funny that yesterday I just got surgery in my pelvis and I don't have pain.
Officials from the hospital credit the success of Christina's surgery to a combination of the expertise at Children's and also the new technology now available at UMC. El Paso Segundo Barrio Football Club just scored a $10,000 grant. The program's offered 4 days a week for children in 2nd through 5th grades at Hart Elementary School. 2 days are devoted to reading lessons, the other 2 out on the soccer field.
Well, most of the kids here are second language learners who struggle academically, especially in reading, and so the soccer is a good motivation to get them into reading. And like all non-profits, we struggle for funding, we struggle to get money, and so this has given us a little bit of a breathing space, and we know now that we can provide for the kids.
100 kids participate in the after-school soccer and reading club. Money from the grant will be used to help pay for equipment, uniforms, and field maintenance. It's a live look outside our KTSM studios this evening. Very warm out there for 10:13 at night. Your full forecast after the break.
The Weather Authority. News Channel 9 Chief Meteorologist Chuck DeRoder.
Trying to explain the groundhog to my 4-year-old Corbin today. He wasn't understanding the concept. Why it would be sunny, why he would see a shadow and still have more winter.
Okay, has to do with the position of the sun, whether or not they're getting a lot of moisture early on, and then winter will end. If there's sun, usually means cold, high pressure in a lot of colder areas. That means more winter is still yet to come.
I told him you'd know. He's
Okay.
fast asleep now.
I'll give him a call.
Okay.
And the woodchucks, groundhogs, woodchucks, they're the same animal. Hey, let's take a look at Chuck's forecast as we get into our evening hours. We are still mild, but we're 7 degrees cooler than what we were last night at this time. We had a weak cool front. We talked about it last night. 50 degrees, 32-degree dew point. Winds light out of the east-northeast at 5. Westerly wind where it is cooler, and 41 in Las Cruces. Las Cruces will be at or below freezing tonight to start off our Friday. 36 our low this morning, 709, that's 1 above average, 5 degrees above normal, 66 right around our predicted high, 15 the record low, 2011, 82 the record high, 1890. Dipped down close to freezing this morning in the Mesilla Valley, 33 below freezing in Alamogordo, 30 and 31 in Roswell with a high of 55. The bulk of the colder air was off to the east of the Waco Mountains and the Rocky Mountains and Sacramento's. 67 the high in Tier C, 69 the high in Deming. This red area here indicates drier air from the west and southwest. We'll see that combined with a strong ridge of upper level high pressure to really warm us up in a hurry. Had this weak cool front push in this morning and drop us about 6 degrees from yesterday's high, and we'll rebound back up there rather quickly. Nothing on radar until next Wednesday when we see some moisture really move in through southern Arizona into the area, and then a cold front to chill us down as well. Right now, high pressure will keep this cold front at bay, but there's a lot of rain and more flooding in northern California and the Pacific Northwest, and they're expecting about 10 inches of snow up around Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and towards Montana in the high elevations. 33 the low in Cloudcroft, clear skies, light winds. That equals colder overnight lows. Freezing in Las Cruces or even below as you get close to the Rio Grande. 68 are high, and truth or consequences tomorrow, ranging to 71 or 74 actually in Chihuahua and 68 in Ruidoso. Overnight low around freezing, clear skies, and 70 are high in Las Cruces as winds will eventually shift out of that warmer southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight into tomorrow morning, 33, the overnight low, so colder tonight. Again, we're about 7 degrees colder than what we were last night at this time, but we'll end up warmer, about 6 degrees warmer than this afternoon, and we keep warming up. 75 Saturday, 77 Sunday. Get outdoors this weekend through the beginning of the week as we stay above average. An upper wave will combine with that moisture I was talking about that'll move in here on Wednesday. Slight chance of rain Wednesday night, a better chance of scattered rain, mountain snow Thursday, and look at that, a reminder of winter. 49 the high temperature next Thursday, but let's just think about the above average weekend for now and not worry about that cold.
All right, Fred, kind of a tough time for UTEP women's basketball lately.
They've been injured. They have a young team. They've struggled, but lots of good basketball tonight. They're losing, but they're losing close games, very entertaining games. We'll take you to the Haskins Center. Let's see, we had blowouts, we had overtime, we had UTEP. Yeah, we got lots of basketball to show you. Highlights of all 4 games. Aggie men, Aggie women, Miner men and women. It's all coming up next to News Channel 9 Sports.
News Channel 9 Sports with Fred Albers.
A dozen NBA scouts on hand tonight to watch UTEP and Florida Atlantic. They were watching for number 32, and Vince Hunter gave them something to watch. To the Owlsboro we go. Check out Jackson Trapp. That's NBA distance. Silky smooth. Owls up 1, 19-18. UTEP showing a little range. Irvin Morris hits in transition to stop the pop. UTEP by 4. Just before halftime, what a motor out of Justin Raffington. He had 20 points, gets the board and the stick back. Owls had 20 in the paint in the first half. We're tied at 27. UTEP doing a little motoring of its own. Here comes the Hunter. 2 quick fouls early in the game, then Vincent comes alive, scoring 22 to lead all scorers. He had 9 rebounds, finished 1 shy of a double-double. Final seconds, the Miners clinging to that 1-point lead. The Owls missed 2 point-blank lay-ins. Then C.J. Cooper would sink free throws. Miners 15 of 25 from the line. That's good enough. 16-56. Miners win it. They're now 7-3 in Conference USA and will play at Florida International on Sunday. How about the Jones Convocation Center in Chicago? WAC leading. I said WAC leading New Mexico State. Taking on Chicago State early on. Hot for the Aggies. Chili Napalway. The Aggies center gets his own rebound. Aggies up double digits halfway through the second half, but the Cougars with a little bite. Chicago State comes back. We're going to overtime with the score tied at 57. Chicago State just 1 win in conference play. Takes the lead in overtime. That's Sean Hill with the jumper. But Daniel Mullins fires from beyond the arc. He had a dozen. Aggies regain the lead and this time hold on. Winning 69-61, New Mexico State moves to 14-10 overall, 6-1 in conference play. Next up, New Mexico State is at UMKC on Saturday. They were wearing pink tonight in the Haskins Center. Do not adjust the sets. UTEP women with pink jerseys against Florida Atlantic to support breast cancer research. Miners sparkled in the first half. Sparkle Taylor, game high 18 points. UTEP by 2 at the half, but there was a power outage in the final 20 minutes. Miners scored just 27 points, missing several key free throws down the stretch. UTEP just 8 of 17 from the line. The Owls had just enough to win at 68-63. UTEP shooting only 36% from the field.
You know, I think we're trying hard, our effort, you know, we're trying, we're competing. We were in a position to have a chance to win. That's what you want. But our offense, we're just struggling down the stretch and not able to close it out right now.
2 o'clock on Saturday, UTEP will host Florida International. Panthers winless in Conference USA. Miners now dropped 6 in a row. May not be a hotter team in the country than New Mexico State women. Caliente. Tonight, the Aggies hosting Chicago State did not waste any time. Abby Scott dials up the trifecta. She had 10. Then a laser pass down to Brianna Freeman. This will result in the easy basket. 16 points, 10 rebounds for Freeman, double-double. Shots falling from all over. We have incoming, ladies. Sasha Weber connects. Aggies hit 11 triples. 4 players scored in double digits, including 23 out of Shanice Davis. New Mexico State wins it 70-53, their 10th straight win. Well, it is arguably the biggest fight in the young career of El Paso boxer Abby Hunt. He'll be fighting on national TV tomorrow. The Irving grad found out just 2 weeks ago. He's going to match up against former world champ Sergio Moro. That's tomorrow on ESPN2. Hunt was a late replacement in this bout against Moro, who won NBC's The Contender, and the winner could end up fighting for the IBF middleweight world title.
He has a lot of name recognition, so if I were to beat him, that'll establish me, put me on the big market, and I can get bigger names and the world title fights, and I could be, maybe I'll follow my my buddy Austin Trout, and try to follow his footsteps.
It is the main event. Once again, ESPN's Friday Night Fights. That's 7 o'clock tomorrow from Biloxi, Mississippi. Tiger Woods back in the news, and this is for the wrong reason. Playing at the Farmers Insurance Open. Watch this swing. Grabs his back. Something's wrong. Remember, he had back surgery last year. Has played very little golf. Today, he made it to the 12th hole and had to withdraw. He was 2 over par at the time. Tiger's quote, "My glutes were shutting off, and then hence it goes to my lower back." No word on the prognosis. Bodie Miller is out of control. I'm not talking about his car commercial at today's Super G World Championship in Colorado. Six-time Olympic medal winner, caught a gate and tumbled down the slope. Has a nasty gash in his leg. Miller, though, did finish the race after someone picked up his skis and brought it to him. We're going to be updating you on all the social platforms, KTSM.com, Facebook, and Twitter.
And more Florida schools for UTEP this weekend, right?
They just flip-flop, men and women. Yes.
There you go. Final forecast after the break.
Good evening. Thanks for watching News Channel 9. I'm Christina Rada.
And I'm Robert Guadarrama. Tomorrow morning, how to protect your pet from wild animals.
Also, what is being done to protect your pets from rabies?
We're almost to the weekend. See you tomorrow from 5 to 7 a.m.
All right, Chuck, good weekend to get outdoors.
Oh, yeah. Any sort of outdoor yard work or anything you have to do it this weekend. Next Thursday, not as fun, but let's concentrate on the positive for sure. Overnight, little colder, but then we warm up to 72, 75 Saturday, upper 70s on Sunday. We stay above average through Tuesday, get a little breezy. Then those winds will carry in more moisture. Slight chance of rain Wednesday night. Colder air will remind us it's still winter with a high temperature of 49, so we'll have to use the heavy jackets. Better chance of rain next Thursday as well.
You guys know anybody that's growing a putting green in their backyard here? I think that's what I need to try, my new yard truck.
That could be your project?
You never done it?
Robert Bettis can help
show me how to do it.
There we go.
See you tomorrow.